Good morning and welcome to Workforce Skills with John Morse. Another Monday morning out here in Phoenix, Arizona. It is raining cats and dogs out there. It was a slow ride to the office this morning. Left the house a little bit early, trying to get in to beat the rain, but I did not. It was a tough ride in. Um, doing a lot slower on the freeway than I normally would. Doing 45 and a 75. I did not risk it. Wasn't willing to take that chance. It was coming down that hard. I could barely see in front of the car as I'm driving. But here we are on a Monday and we're trying to figure out scheduling. We're trying to work around these situations. And unfortunately, half our employees have to sit at home today due to the weather. It's the reality of this. So there's going to be these moments where some of our employees aren't going to get their 40 hours for the week. They're stuck at home. It just is what it is. We can't double them up on other jobs. It wouldn't be as productive. It would defeat the purpose of being profitable in those jobs. So unfortunately, some guys and girls, they get a rain day. They get that day off. I remember growing up back in Illinois in school, and we get a snow day. Out here in the desert, we do not get that at all. I didn't grow up out here, so I'm not even sure if the kids get a rain day or if they get an excessive heat day to get the day off. I'm not sure how that works around here, and I've lived out here for a long time. So, but looking at what we're doing, looking at how we run this and these situations and what happens around the office, it's a little bit different. We start doing some catch up. We start doing some house cleaning. We get on top of the things that we've kind of put behind, so we don't have to oversee as much that day. But it's still an active day. It's still a busy day. We're still pushing. We're still grinding. We're still getting done things, but we're catching up on things that we're kind of falling behind on and need to catch up on. For me, it's a little bit different too. I'm back from vacation, had a couple weeks off. It had an amazing time, spent a great time with my wife. And it's funny. Here we are. We work together. We live together. We go on vacation together. We do everything together. And some people would say, how do you manage that? How do you make it work? I don't know. It just does. It's an amazing situation. I love it. It works. It's people say marriage is work. For me, it's not. It just comes so easy. We coexist together. It's simple. If it's meant to be, it shouldn't be work. And that's how I look at it with us. And it works very well. But unfortunately, we're back and we're both struggling in the office. We're both having our issues. We're dealing with catch up with everything that we got in front of us. And it's very difficult. The tensions are high here in the office. And so we're dealing with that. And, it's not easy going on vacation for a couple weeks and then coming back and catching up. You got to get back in the groove. You got to get back in that momentum. We have different sayings around here. Monday's Momentum Monday. How do you keep that momentum when you've been gone for 2 weeks? And here I am trying to catch up. I'm talking to everybody in the company and finding out what I missed, what happened. The one thing I will say is I am extremely proud of everybody while I was gone and what they did and how they maintained it. It was as if I never left. Everything it was like a well-oiled machine. And that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way any business is supposed to be. And that's what us small business owners are trying to create. We're trying to create a business that can run itself, that can maintain itself. We don't want to always work in the business. We want to work on the business. And I'm at a point now to where I can work on the business. I don't have to be in the day-to-day activity every single day to make it operate. I have the luxury to step away now. That's what we've created. That's what we've built here. And the consistency of this is it's building something that can sustain itself. I'm trying to build something that's going to last forever. It's going to last a long time. This isn't John Morse painting. This is PHP commercial painting. It's an entity that's going to outlive me. It's an entity that's going to go on for a very, very long time. To me, I consider this a family business. So it's going to be passed on and it's going to carry on and continue to run. Now, what happens with all the other parts of it, the moving parts of the vocational program we do, the life skills, I don't know. But for me, what I'm trying to do with the business is, as a leader, I'm creating more leaders. I'm creating other people that can kind of take over. The cool thing about that is being back at teaching the vocational class, life skills every Monday and Tuesday night from 6 to 8. I just started a new class tonight, and there's 20 new people in there, and I'm excited for this. I'm looking forward to having 20 brand new people and teaching them the life skills of how to be a good employee, how to be a good person, how to carry themselves in the workplace and represent themselves, not just the company they work for. Um, what it shows me with men and women that are signing up for this class, that are going to be a part of this, it's a choice. They're not forced into this. It's a choice that they make. And what I see is it's men and women that want to invest in themselves. They want to make a change for themselves and for the better. And that's the whole purpose of the business, between making it sustainable to where it can maintain itself. It's the investment into what we're doing here is astronomical. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than anybody in this company. And so we're building something that hopefully can sustain and carry on for many, many years. All this talk about AI and new technology and everything's taken over, I don't think that's going to happen with the painting industry. I think we're always going to need labor. We're always going to need men and women to go out there and paint walls and paint these, paint a door jamb, or paint a ceiling, baseboards. I don't think you can make an AI or a robot to do something like that and do it to perfection and consistency. Not that humans are perfect and they can do it consistently the same, but I believe it can be done better. And I think as a group, as a team, we find a way to make it work, and we find a way to make it happen. It's weird. Sometimes I think, I wish we could go back to the old days. I wish we could go back 50 years to the way it used to be and get away from all the technology and everything and have a simpler life. But it's not going to be that way. We have to grow. We have to adapt to the technology. We have to accept that AI is there and everything else that's happening. But there's certain things that we have to do on our own. We have to make happen. We don't want to be complacent. We don't want to become lazy. And so with that being said, we want to focus on bettering ourselves and working and finding that grind, that beast mode that you need every single day. The situation with this is I feel like I'm bouncing all over the place right now. I'm just talking about so many different things. And part of that is I've been off for 2 weeks. Yeah, the podcasts are still dropping. We pre-recorded some stuff so they would still continue, so we can be consistent and relevant out there. But at the same time, it's for me coming back right now. It's like, okay, I got so much going through my head, so many different things happen. It's like, where do I start? What am I dealing with? What's happening? I'm being bombarded all morning with everybody coming at me with all these different things. And here I am sitting here talking. I feel like, I need to take a pause here, because I'm going from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And that's just the way this day's been going. And it's been chaotic, but it's also been productive. And even with what we're dealing with, the weather, with everything else, it's just, we're back in the saddle, we're moving forward, and we're making things happen. So it's right now sitting here with you guys talking about this, it's just all the wheels are going at high gear right now, and thinking about tonight's class that I'm going to be teaching, thinking about the weather and how we're going to catch up on these jobs, thinking about everything I got to catch up on the last 2 weeks. And it's going to take me a week to catch up on everything. And then I think I'll be back to even, to where everything's maintaining itself and moving forward. So it's been a great vacation. For you guys out there, if you're wondering where I went to Italy, Greece, I went to Olympia, Athens. Man, it was a great vacation. Got to go swimming in the Mediterranean Sea. It was a beautiful time. So for me, running my own business, doing what I do, has given me the opportunities to go on vacations, to travel the world. And that's something I really enjoy. And painting has given me the opportunity to do these things. It's given me a great life. It's given me the opportunity to be able to walk the Great Wall of China, to be able to go to Mayan, Aztec, Inca ruins. I've been to Machu Picchu in Peru. I've been to Ireland and kissed the Blarney Stone. And now I've been to Olympia, where the very first Olympics were held. Went to Pompeii, been able to see that. What's crazy though is we were just in a city right outside Mount Vesuvius, or Mount Etna, and just today, it exploded. I saw videos on TikTok of tourists running down a mountain, It's crazy, and we were just there. Thank God it didn't happen while we were there. So, but painting has given me these opportunities, the lifestyle that I'm able to do. It's interesting talking with my partner Greg in the business, and he became a partner as he's grown through the business. He started just as a painter for me, and he's worked his way up. And we're sitting here talking, and he basically ran everything while I was gone, and listening to what he's talking about and what he dealt with, and how his anxiety level was through the roof, and he was just, his blood pressure was shooting sky high and dealing with everything. He was so nervous. But he maintained it all. He did it. He held it together, and he did what he needed to do to keep the business running, and did very, very well. And I'm proud of him. And as we're sitting here talking to him, tomorrow his son is actually going to start working for us. His son just graduated high school. He's coming on board. Not sure if this is what he wants to do. He's thinking about going into welding. This is what a family business is about. It's the father working here and the son having the opportunity to work here as well, to carry on this business, to do what we're doing. Now, whether that's something his son wants to continue with, and maybe he's just getting his feet wet, getting his first job, getting a little money saved so he can get a car, whether he sticks with it or not and he goes with the welding, it doesn't matter. But at least he gets the opportunity to see what this is about, and maybe he wants to stick it out here. But as me and Greg were talking about this, and we're talking about the struggles of life and the opportunities that I've had to go on vacations and different things. And I'm 56, he's 40, and I started this business when I was about 42 years old, and I'm sitting there with him, and I'm talking to him about where I was when I was 40, and where he's at right now at 40, and where he's at in his life right now at 40 years old. He is in a better spot, better financial position than I was at that age, which means by the time he's my age, he's going to be doing better than where I'm at today. That's the future for him, and the future of his vacations and what he gets to do, and where he gets to go in his life. Because we were talking about how he's never traveled outside the United States. He's never done certain things, but yet I'm looking at my life. Well, I hadn't done that prior to the age of 42 either. He's 40. I was 42 before I even thought about going out of the country and doing something different. And so to be able to do this, I think it's a great feeling to be able to pass this on, to help him out, to help his family out, and help the individuals that work for us. That's what we're in this for. This isn't just about the painting business. It's about building something bigger. It's about building opportunities for people. It's his family having an opportunity to make more money, for his kids to work, to have a job, to have security. That's what life is about. It's about being out there and building something bigger than yourself so you can go do the things that you enjoy. I enjoy the vacations I go on. I want to do that. I want to do more. Me and my wife were talking on the flight home, and it was a long flight. It took us about 26 hours to get from there back here between multiple flights. And we're talking about our next vacation, and it's going to be in 2 years, and we're going to go see the pyramids in Egypt. That's my goal. The goal for me now is not only to do that, but to start to watch Greg and his family start to do their vacations, their things, their journeys of what they're going to go through. And the painting business and what we've created has given us the opportunities to do that. It's also given the opportunity for, I can't begin to tell you how many people, men and women, that we've helped get out of prison, get back to work, go through our vocational program, get off the streets, and they are starting to build their lives. They're starting to build their legacy. They're starting to have something better than they've ever had in the past. And that's what we do this for. We're in this to continue to build something bigger for ourselves. I look at the life skills that we do and what I do with the podcast here. And once a month, I've talked about before, we do our life skills here at the office. And it's not mandatory for our employees. It's optional, whoever wants to show up. But looking at that and what we do, they're not investing in the company by showing up. They're investing in themselves. They're investing into themselves, to better them within their position with the company, better their personal lives, The one recently that we had this last month, we had a financial advisor come in, and she came in and spoke to the guys. They talked about credit, they talked about financing, building something bigger and better for themselves, and how to do that and how that process was. So we're doing everything we can to build financial stability for everybody around us, everybody that works for us, everybody within the company. And if we can do that, what does that do for the company? Financially, what does it do? There's certain things we're going to pay for. It's going to cost us to do it. But in return, what's the financial gain for the company by doing this for the employees? I promise you, they will work harder for you. They're going to do better for you. I sat down with a couple of guys here recently that work for me, and it was brought up that they want to go to a school for project manager. And the conversation kind of shifted a little bit, different directions. And it was brought up, well, if we take this course, then they say out there, you can make up to this much per year. These are the wages you can make by getting this degree and having this under your belt with this certificate. And the first thing out of my mouth was, oh, so you'll be going somewhere else for another job, because that's a lot of money. I'm not sure the company can financially pay that. And they're like, oh, no, we're not going anywhere. We're doing that to better ourselves here with this company, so this company can make more money and this company can pay us that money. And so I'm hearing this, I'm listening to this, and to me, that's the return. That's the reward for what I'm doing for a lot of these guys that work for me. It's not just about them. It's not just about the company. They're investing in themselves to better themselves. And in return, that's better in the company. It's investing in the company and helping the company without even trying. It happens. It's a cycle that we can't even see sometimes. It just happens organically. It happens naturally. I can't explain how some of the things work around here. I guess the best way to put it, and I've talked about this before, if you hang around positive people, if you stay around positive situations, positive things will happen. If you hang around negative people or negative situations are going to happen as well. So trying to keep a positive attitude, trying to do the right things all the time, the right things happen. Good things will happen, and it comes in return. And I know there's people out there probably listening to this, and I'll drop the shorts on different platforms, and I'll get all this crap said to me and everything, and well, pay more, do this. And I'm thinking it's just negative responses. And these are the people that are very unhappy. They don't do anything to better themselves. They're not investing in themselves. They're blaming everybody around them for all their problems, all their issues, and they're not doing anything to better themselves. They're not thinking about, like my employees, wanting to go to a project manager school or take classes to better themselves. Why do we not do that? I think as a person, I always want to grow. I always want to become better. I always want to educate myself. That's why I love the History Channel, Discovery Channel. That's why I go traveling. My vacations are to old ruins, antique ruins. I want to see stuff from the past. I want to educate myself and learn. I don't want to go just hang on a beach and get a tan and work on that. That's not a vacation for me. That's I know that's kind of lazy. That's relaxation, but that's not what I want. That's not what I need. I've always got an Audible book and going on my vehicle when I'm driving. I tap into my phone. I play it. I want to become something bigger, something better. I want to invest in myself. So as I do that, and as I represent that, and I'm the leader at doing that within the company, it starts to trickle down. It's that trickle-down effect. So the positivity, the right attitude, the right leadership, it becomes contagious. No different than the negative situations that people bring, the negative side of things. It's going to have a trickle-down effect, and then everybody becomes negative. Nothing happens. Nobody becomes productive at that point. And I don't want to see that happen within our company. I don't want people to see that and think, oh, well, they're not doing anything, so I don't have to do anything. No, everybody's doing something, and they're going to see that, oh, everybody's doing something. Man, I better find something to do. That's the difference. That's how I'm looking at all the situations within a company. I'm sitting in there in this morning's meeting, and we have a meeting at 4:45 in the morning, and I'm looking at how we started this and how the meetings go. And I used to run these things, and now it's been passed on to Greg, and then it's now been passed on to Isaiah. We sit back and watch, and I'm watching a couple new guys in there, and there's one guy that's so new, and he's just sitting there watching, listening, and he's just nodding his head. He's paying attention. He's looking at everything. And I'm thinking, I see the eagerness in this, and everybody's talking, everybody's being positive, and I see that he wants to jump in. He wants to say something, but he's not ready. But I can see that being around that, he's going to be chiming in. He's going to be putting his 2 cents in. He's going to be a part of the group. He's going to be talking about it. But if we have a meeting like that and it's negative and people are bashing each other and it's not getting the right outcome, it's not going to be productive, then maybe the new guy's not going to want to be a part of it. He's going to look at this and think, oh man, this is a bad, I don't want to be a part of this. I think I want to go somewhere else and work. This is a toxic environment. I don't want this in my life. So by creating these positive situations, by keeping it positive, keeping it motivating, this is what we create, and it trickles down to the next employee. It's interesting when I talk about certain things around the office, and then I hear others talking about it, and I'm like, holy crap, that sounds just like me. And it's a positive thing. It's a positive effect that happens throughout the office. It's a good feeling when you see that. It's, to be honest with you guys, I feel like I'm really struggling today. I'm just bouncing all over the place. I got so much ideas and different things going through my head, and I don't think there's really one true message today that I'm trying to bring to the table. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, let's be positive out there. Sometimes you got to reset, and I think that's what I did over the last 2 weeks. I reset. I got myself back on track, and sometimes we need that break once in a while. We need to take a break and reset, reload, get reorganized. For me, when I leave and go on vacation, man, I come back with different ideas. Things are going through my head. Okay, I'm going to come back and change this. I say I'm going to go on vacation. I'm not going to talk about work or think about work, but man, I always do. It's always on my mind. And I think when I'm the most relaxed and I'm away from all this, that's sometimes when I come up with the best ideas that I can bring back to the business to make some of the best changes we've ever had. And it really does work. The last time this happened, I left for Christmas. I went up to Salt Lake City to visit my daughter and her husband and grandson, and had a great time. And I came back and I had ideas, and we implemented and we made some changes within the business, and it worked out for the better. And so I think sometimes you got to step away. You got to take the break. I'm constantly in beast mode. I'm constantly grinding, but sometimes you can push too far. We don't know how far we can push ourselves till we hit that breaking point. So you got to do that sometimes. But you got to know when to step back. You got to know when to take the vacation, to take a break. And when it's time to come back, it's time to get in, feet first, don't hold back, jump in, and just grab the bull by the horns and run with it. That's what we're doing today. We're just grabbing the bull by the horns, running with it. We're going to make it happen. There's a lot of catch up to do, but it's a good feeling being back, being in the saddle, and doing what we do on a day-to-day basis. I live for this. I love this. I'm going on almost no sleep right now because the time difference. It's like right now, I think it's Monday here, but it's Tuesday back in Rome where I was as we're recording this. So it's already tomorrow in Rome where we flew out of. So it's a little weird feeling. So I'm on their time zone still, trying to get back. And it's funny, people talk about jet lag from the East Coast to the West Coast. Oh, they don't even understand. You don't even understand until you've gone halfway around the world what real jet lag is. So catching up from that, it's quite interesting. It does take its toll on you. So you got to self-care, self-maintain. You got to take care of yourself and stay healthy. So guys, I just want to thank you for joining me. This one's a little bit shorter here, but I'm glad I'm back. I'm glad I'm doing this. I'm excited for my class tonight, brand new class, getting involved with them and hopefully making some changes in some new people. and showing them that there is a better way to life than prison or the streets or drugs or that old lifestyle. It's time to get back to work and teach them that life skills, that workforce that they need. So once again, guys, thanks for joining me. Stay hungry.